Hey guys, I'm Mario.
And I'm Peter.
And we're
Guys That Listen.
On today's show, we got... Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm an artist, and I work in many different mediums. I like to explore my own consciousness. I love learning about other people, and generally just having a good time.
There you go.
So when you say you like exploring your consciousness and having a good time, I'm assuming there's some psychedelics involved, or is that just a wild guess?
I mean, there can be psychedelics involved for sure. I'm no stranger to psychedelics.
Okay.
But I would say that in my experience, psychedelics, well, no, I think everything gives a little bit of a different flavor. Like, I practice meditation, currently doing a really fun CIA meditation tapes that were released in like the 60s. They're called, it's called Hemisync. It's from the Monroe Institute. There's this study about basically syncing your brain hemispheres together so they like
operate in unison, and it's something that like various tantric
practices in yoga also kind of explore, but this CIA one's kind of fun to do.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been doing that, and I would say that like I guess with psychedelics is like
every alternate experience of reality is unique in its own. Like marijuana provides a certain unique experience, mushrooms, LSD, DMT,
Yeah.
but even meditation, and I don't think there's any one that's like, oh, better or wrong or right or anything like that. They're just different, and you can all, as long as you're consciously doing these activities and processing and taking the time to learn from them, we can really use these tools to help us grow and expand.
No, that's so on point. Like I feel like each one is a little bit of at least for me, it's been a bit of a stepping stone to kind of more self-awareness, kind of more recognizing who I am and who I want to become. You know, like you said, they all have their own flavors, and they all help you like change your perspective a little bit in a different way. You know, especially with meditation. Like I've said, it's like, you know, you have an experience with like a psychedelic drug, and it's like, you know what, a day or not whatever hours.
Yeah.
But doing meditation long term has a very similar effect too.
yeah, definitely experienced that in my practice for sure.
Nice. All right, question for both of you guys.
Oh.
When did you guys start this whole, kind of like psychedelic journey? And it doesn't have to just do with like drugs or anything, like meditation too.
I had pretty severe ADHD.
Oh, wow.
It was I wouldn't be able to sit still. Like Adrian over there is tapping his feet, and that was like, so I'd go to church every Sunday, and I was like, my leg's having a spaz like the whole time. Like how the hell am I supposed to sit still for like an hour, 2 hours? Are you kidding?
Hated church.
Yeah, dude, you have to dress. They made me dress up, and like I hated dressing up, and then I had to like sit still. It was like the worst.
Catholic or Christian?
Christian.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
did you guys have the little things with the feet rest right there?
Dude, I didn't. I had like cheap ass metal chairs. We met in a school gymnasium, man.
What?
There wasn't anything cool about the experience.
Oh.
So
Wait, what church was that?
we're not gonna talk about it.
He's not going to throw shade at God.
It's no longer around for a reason.
Okay,
The
wow.
Church of Scientology.
Okay. There's a couple of these.
Yeah. No, it's the underfunded Scientology.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, so I guess meditation, it was that, and I was, I'm pretty candidly open with this. I was, like, pretty addicted to porn for a while.
Okay, wow.
And so, like, that coupled with ADHD, I really wanted to find, like, an avenue to get out of those and, like, really take, I guess, like, my mind controlled me. Like, I did not control my mind.
Yeah.
Like it was not a tool that I was using for my own benefit. It was something that, like, would plague me, like, thought demons, like, all that, depression, you name it. Like, that kind of shit was having a happy little time, living rent-free in my head.
That's crazy.
And so, like, yeah, through meditation, it was, like, gaining that discipline to kind of gain control of my thoughts and then enter states of thoughtlessness and then being able to, like, move about the world in that way. And so, I mean, from my own personal experience, like, meditation can cure a lot of your problems if you do. Like, I mean, I started when I was a senior in high school.
Oh, wow. So you started
like,
early.
Yeah, so I've been meditating for now, like, 7, 8 years, 9 years. Yeah, so, like, no, 7 years, yeah. So, like, having that regular practice, like, our brains can be altered.
Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure.
To a crazy degree,
Yeah.
so. yeah, just trying to heal, trying to be the best version of myself,
Nice.
so that can inspire other people to be the best versions of themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like if we can create, our actions can create the world that we live in. Like every single day, every step that you take, like you by listening and like you by speaking, like we all are shaping the world we live in, and if we do that consciously and we're aware of that, we can really create a reality that could be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's why we're guys that listen.
Yeah.
100%.
It's amazing. I love it.
No, I've had a similar experience to that too, and I know that feeling of like just being this passenger in your own ride. Like you're like your brain, your life. You're just a passenger. You're not taking control.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I used to feel too before I started meditating. I started meditating when I was like 22, 23,
Nice.
and I
You
remember
guys started young.
uh,
I started so late. Holy crap.
but it makes such a difference where like
Yeah.
you know you have some actual control over your life. Like you know obviously like you can't control everything, but you can control the way you react to things. You can control the emotions. You know there's so much stuff that happens, and like I feel very like I know there's bad shit that's gonna come. You know for everyone's life there's always bad stuff that's gonna happen, but I know that I feel more prepared now. Like I can take that in and like process it, feel it, and all that. Oh, of course it'll start hurt. Of course there's supposed to be bad things, but like I feel so much more capable of like handling my own life ever
Yeah.
since I started meditating. It just it
Amazing.
makes such a huge difference.
I know we're talking about meditating, but I'm going to go back step and talk about porn real quick.
Yeah, I know.
Because you said you're very like transparent about it, right?
Yeah, dude, I mean,
and like,
I'm an open book. There's
dude,
like,
yeah.
So like BBW,
What categories are we talking about now?
Well, the thing is, when you're an addict,
See, okay, this is what I'm curious
there
about.
is no like,
There's no end to
there's no line.
yeah. Okay, so I'm curious because like you said you found meditating like in your senior year, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking early. And you said that helped you kind of get out of that addiction.
Yeah.
So that means early on you were aware that you had addiction.
Yeah, I started when it was like sixth grade.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
When did you figure out that you had addiction? What was the
I mean,
final
when you
line?
want to do that more than you want to hang out with your friends, that's an addiction.
Like what are we talking about now? Like hang out with them like, hey, give me 5 minutes. I'll be right out, or like
Or like, nah,
I'll see you
like
tomorrow.
my parents are like gone, so why would I have my friends over when I can just like
yeah.
post for a hot while?
like how long is a hot while? Because like if I'm
I mean,
5 minutes in, I'm out. I'm ready to hang out with my friends again. You know, so-
I mean, okay, so have you discovered edging?
Oh,
what's that?
Oh, no, okay.
What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
What?
This is taking an interesting turn,
Yeah,
but
I feel
Yeah,
left
that's,
out.
that's definitely the next level.
that's
yeah,
the next
That's
level.
on the,
It's like
that's
seeing how long you can like
Yeah.
maintain your like arousal, and
Wait.
that's like that became like an aim for me, really. Like, could I be just like hella aroused for like hours and hours on end?
And not like do anything. You're just
It's what it sounds like. You're getting to the edge constantly, getting to the edge, getting to the edge, getting to the edge.
so you're just like never climaxing. You're just bricked up the entire time.
Maybe eventually, like
Yeah,
it
eventually,
depends.
but like that's not the goal.
The goal is to see how long you can last.
Yeah, which actually,
Oh, that's-
interestingly enough, is like, which is crazy, is that like that actually which plagued my life. Like porn addiction is not great, and it can really affect like your mentality,
Yeah.
especially your relationships with women. And that took a long time for me to repair,
Oh,
like
shit.
to have like actual like healthy relationships with people, and to not have like I guess fucked up thoughts in a way, but like that like strange discipline of edging actually became like very like moving into tantric sex and yoga practices. It was like, oh wow, I just like flip what used to be very like I guess detrimental, and now
Yeah.
I have a skill of self-control that I really developed, and now I can like utilize this in a healthy, beautiful way that I can share experiences with people.
Wow.
That is like was really like amazing to me, I think.
Yeah.
Which is like if you look at trauma or any like thing that is super negative or any addiction, when you dive down into the root of that and you are able to flip it, then it becomes like a superpower in a way, I think.
That's
And it's
crazy.
like,
And that's what we call growth, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. That's a different take. I've never heard that. But damn, edging was that the moment you're like, man, this is becoming a problem.
yeah, I mean, it's just like I was super sexual as like a little kid, like fucking 5 years old.
What?
Like
Wait,
not
what?
having sex, but like
Introduced to it in some kind of way.
like yeah, like definitely masturbating it, like way before any of my peers, and it was just like, well, this is like weird, especially I'm Christian, so now
Yeah.
it's gonna get
Oh,
hella.
that's even hella weird.
Yeah, so
Wow.
now it's gonna get repressed, and then I'm like, okay, I'm addicted to this, but I'm in this Christian space. I don't want to bring shame on my family.
Yeah.
Don't want to let anyone
Wow.
know. So now it becomes like this whole thing.
God knows when you touch yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep,
then-
God
and
knows
then-
everything.
and God's
You
like,
think hiding in that closet is keeping you away? Nah, dude.
Do you feel like that kind of like growing up in that Christian kind of mentality life that affected you? And
oh, dude, like I have depressive poetry and thought demons for days on that topic.
would you say is
Fuck
that
yeah.
why you adopted the Jesus look?
back. Full
Jesus
circle.
adopted me now. I'm free. If Jesus is in me, apparently it's coming out.
Damn. That's next level. But that's crazy. You feel like you've been sexual since you were like young, and that repressed you because you grew up in a Christian household. So at what point did you feel like you were finally not repressed anymore? And obviously, let's say you weren't repressed, but now you have like problems with like kind of understanding the difference between porn and like reality too, right? So it's
Yeah,
like, you're
yeah.
unrepressed, but you're doing whatever you want.
I mean,
but
I
sometimes
would say like the healing still, it's an ongoing journey. Like
Yeah.
it's not like, okay, I'm no longer addicted. Like I no longer watch or have any interest
Okay.
in porn. But as far as like the way things show up, like in intimate relationships or things, there's still remnants for sure. And like the cool thing is, at least for me, it's like, all right, I understand when that comes up. I'm mature enough to like understand what's happening and
Yeah.
like to handle it or to have a conversation with someone about it and to not feel like shameful or super guilty about it. Like obviously if I could go back and wish that I had, like, yeah, for sure. It would be like, but at the same time I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the skills, the understanding. I probably may have never found meditation or found yoga practices because like it was, I have this affliction. Clearly praying to Jesus isn't doing jack shit because I've been doing that for fucking 10 years and I still want to like look at a computer screen, like, all right. Like, so meditation was something that like actually gave me tools to
Wow,
help
nice.
heal. And
Is-
then that like, then from that point it was like, all right, how can I learn as much about consciousness, meditation, any sort of other practices, whether it be shamanistic, tantric, yogic, alternate theories on understanding, and then naturally psychedelics.
and naturally psychedelics.
Is that how you conquered it? Is that how you got over your porn addiction? Through meditation, or was
Yeah,
it?
meditation.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
not even just psychedelics. I was pretty much like over it, and before I did my first mushroom trip.
Was there like a breaking point for you, like that you got to when you're just like, I'm sick of this, and like, or you just found meditation by accident?
Oh, like was there a point where like I'm so sick of
Porn addiction.
porn that I want to like meditate? I mean, it was just like I am sick of like my mind controlling me in these ways and my body controlling me in these ways. I'm like, meditation seems to be like a tool that can help this. I'm gonna keep doing it, and I like had this, I guess, like strong. I felt very like in my life very directed. Like, oh, I need to do this. I need to go there, and it's like my intuition. And if I listen to it, typically everything works out pretty damn great. So it was kind of one of those intuitive things where like, okay, maybe it's not working in the first month, but I'm just gonna keep doing this because I have a feeling it's gonna take me
wow.
to where I want to go. And like it was, dude. I mean, it was like 3-4 years of meditation before I was over it. Like
Jesus.
it wasn't like a, oh, I woke up one day and I was
Yeah.
like, ah, no more.
Yeah,
Like,
no more porn addiction.
kick the habit.
No
you
more
know?
edging.
Yeah, kick the habit. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, dude, it's a process.
So
Yeah.
you said that obviously caused problems in your relationships too, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you probably watched porn before you got into your first relationship,
Yeah.
and then did you feel like from the very beginning it caused issues?
I guess not really. Maybe not consciously, but like definitely you see like. I mean, when things got sexual, it would be like, am I intuitively feeling into the moment and connecting with the other person, or am I remembering things that I've seen?
Wow.
And that's a huge like difference. Like actually, like if we're looking at sex is like connecting with someone, right? And like experiencing something, are you able to be in tune with the other person, be in tune with your own body, your own feelings, your own emotion, your own energy? And are you able to like control that energy as you're like moving with someone else and you're kind of like doing this like very pleasurable dance with them?
Yeah.
Or are you remembering that like some chick was moaning in this position as this dude's just going at it, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's two very different things. And so like the portrayal of sex in porn, I think, is extremely damaging to our society and like all around understanding of like what sex is, what it can be, where like just so many things, man.
Yeah.
It's so
There's a lot to
fucked up.
unravel.
Yeah, it really is. And it's something that's just like, yo, it's not cool.
Yeah.
It's really like we can normalize it or whatever, and it's like there's a time and a place for I guess certain things to be hot, but if that becomes like the standard, it's like yeah, there's a lot of like things that are being overlooked, and like people aren't gonna be like fulfilled. That's the
Yeah.
other thing too. Like you're not gonna be like actually like happy and fulfilled with the person that you're connecting with if it's in a disconnected, strange way.
That's why I tell all my friends, like, you know, if you're gonna watch porn, just watch amateur porn.
Well, okay, going off
You
that.
gotta watch the grainy video ones, you know,
Yeah.
that's like, you know,
More
at
realistic.
home.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
but I
Two
really
people
do
deeply
feel
in
it.
love, and they decided to videotape it and share it.
Exactly. You know, like
alright.
Kardashian and Ray J.
Exactly like that.
But I feel very similar in that sense where it's like a lot of times you are, rather than being present in that moment, you're in your head. At least that's what it was for
Yeah.
me. You know,
Yeah.
that's why meditation helped me a lot, where I was like, I had to get out of like my head where I was like constantly like analyzing everything and not enjoying the present moment.
Yeah.
And once I started to, I could like just like breathe in and kind of like be present in the moment, be like actually like here and like feeling like the energy, feeling like, you know, like I belong here, rather than being in my head and just like kind of like questioning things.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's something that you can carry into like your day-to-day life. Like, is that something that you can like, you walk around on the
Oh, yeah.
street? Are you a lot more like feeling the breeze on your skin
Yep.
versus like what you're gonna do 30 minutes from now?
I don't know if you've experienced the same way. Do you have like a switch? Sometimes you can just turn on and just be present. Like
Yeah.
So for me, it's like you get to this point where it's like you've done enough meditation, and like sometimes there's just these like, I don't know, like these switches you can turn on, and I'm like, okay, be present, and you just become present. Or there's like one that I had where like you can just shift your mentality to be positive. And it's like, it sounds so weird, but I'm like, yeah, it's like, I can feel it like, as like, oh, it's over here to the left.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. Like, it's like it wants to come in. It's like
Yeah.
the negativity.
Yes.
You feel it like tickle, and you're like, nah,
Yep.
fam. And then,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh,
I know, it sounds so,
fuck off.
Me.
because there's sometimes there's just stuff in the day, stress, random negativity, and you're like, okay. And when I remember, I'm like, no, I can just like, I've experienced this moment where of like peace and clarity. I'm like, just kind of like, turn on. I'm like, oh, okay, here it is. Here, over here to the left.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I've never experienced that. That's
Just
crazy.
gotta meditate a little more. Stop watching porn.
But also, I'm like very rarely like negative too. So it's like really hard for me to feel like that. And it usually takes a lot for me to get like that. So it's not like just like a little thing like, oh shit, I got a parking ticket. Now my day is fucking ruined. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, like my cousin has cancer. I got my fucking car like fucking ran over or some shit like that. And then now I have no money in my bank. And I'm like, okay, maybe this kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You were very like nonchalant about losing like 20K the other day.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I had to swallow a little bit like, yikes. While I was out there, but I was like, fuck it, whatever's, what can I do? It's gone. You know what I mean?
You're
What?
so nonchalant. I'm like, wow. I
Hey.
wish I could be as like peaceful as Peter. Like, just
So you
It's
lost
just
20K?
money. Yeah, I had like an investment that went to like zero. While I was like out in Europe spending a bunch of money already, and then I was looking at my screen and I was like, it was already at 100 and it went down to like 70 something, and I was like, there's no way it goes to zero, and it went to like 0.003 of a penny or something
Luna,
like that.
right?
Luna, yeah. And I was like, holy crap! Like I was gonna use that money to travel more. $20,000 all wiped out while I only spent like X amount of money while I was out there already. So I was like, holy shit, what can I do? I'm not gonna let it ruin the rest of my time, so I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my trip.
Nice.
kinda shrug it off.
That's a
Very
very, but you grew up Buddhist, so clearly that's just ingrained. That's ingrained in you,
I
right?
think it's weird because like people say that like I grew up Buddhist, so I'm like very like Zen, patient, or whatever. But then I also grew up, not to get too deep, but like with my dad was like very abusive, especially to my mom, physically and verbally. And they're both kind of like abusive verbally, but because of that, like I saw these two people that I thought really, really loved each other, kind of like destroy each other. But it took a while because for a while they decided to kind of be civil for their kids, So that's my reality as a child, or at least what I understood as my reality. Like, oh, these two patient people that are like trying to like make it work, and then they would explode.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It's weird, and because I became like that, very similar. But I was, I didn't like that about them. So I avoided the abusive part to other people, and I would like abuse myself. So I was like very masochistic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did that like show up for you, if you don't mind?
I think the first time I remembered it was my ex had punched me in the face because she was playing the buggy game. Like buggy games, like, oh, yellow buggy, and then you like punch them on the shoulder.
Like slug bugs.
Yeah, like slug bug, But she like punched me in the face. And then she did it twice. She saw two of them. I don't know why there are two bugs around there. But anyways, I was like, oh, wow. She actually punched me in the face again. And then in my mind, I was like, oh, you thought that hurt me. I don't know why I said this, but I was like, let me show you how it hurt me if you really want to hurt me. So I put my hand in like the glove compartment and I slammed it like 3 or 4 times. Like, oh, this doesn't even hurt. All right, let me show you how it hurt me. And so I opened the car door and I slammed the car door in my arm and my elbow. And I fractured my elbow. It was like in the midst of like traffic. I was like in high school. It was crazy. And then when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck did I do to myself? Yeah. It was crazy because I saw a little bit of my dad in that moment, except it was just directed towards me. I think that was kind of like the weird part. And it was really shitty because, obviously she probably still remembers that day. And she, so her mom already knew about my dad's like relationship with my family and the abuse and whatnot. So when her mom heard that, she was like, "Hey, better watch out for him. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, And I was like, "Oh, fuck." That was the last thing I wanted is like her parents to like judge me in that way. And I even tried to avoid it by being masochistic towards myself, but obviously it doesn't seem sane. I was pretty sure I was acting pretty psychotic during that time.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple instances after that. And I think like I used to try to control it. I think that was like the issue. And now I just try to maneuver the situation rather than control it. So like I used to be like, oh, I'm getting mad right now. And I'm going to try to figure out how to disarm this. But now I just remove myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm like, hey, I'm getting kind of upset. I'm going to walk away. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I know you want to discuss things, but I cannot do this right now. And I need to do what's best for me, which is I need to walk away because this is what's best for you too. And I'm not, I'm never like harmed anyone physically unless they ask, you know what I mean? But
It's a family podcast.
But going back to like, I've never harmed anyone like unconsensually, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to be like the first. And I just know myself better where it's like, it's just best for me to remove myself and stop testing like the waters. I think it was the very next day. I came to school, with like a big swollen elbow, and like all my classmates came up to me and was like, "Oh, damn, what happened to your elbow? You all right? You good?" And I had one bully that I befriended because, I just befriended all the bullies just to make sure I don't get beat up in high school. It's better just be buddies with them, And this guy, he's like the sleepy, like, football jock that doesn't do anything during class. He just like passes out, right? And wakes up once class is over. And he decides to come up and he comes up to me, like taps both of my elbows like, "Oh, what's wrong, pussy?" And I was like, "Ow, that hurts." And he was like, "Oh, that hurts, pussy?" And I was like, "Yeah, it does." And I was like, "Dude, stop doing that." And he's like, "What happens if I don't stop?" I was like, "I'm just saying you should stop." And then he did it again. And then he was like, "Exactly. I knew you were a bitch." And he did one last time. In my head, when he was about to walk away, I knew you were a bitch. I was like, okay, I got past it. As mad as I am right now, I didn't do anything. And then when he did the last time, right before he walked away, I punched him and he fell into the desk. And I just started wailing on him with like the broken arm.
Oh, with the broken arm?
Yeah, because that's actually like my dominant arm. right? And then, it was right before there was like a meeting in the auditorium. So the teacher was right there. My Spanish teacher. She's super cool as fuck. But she comes by, she breaks up, and then she's like, "You okay, Peter? Let's go outside and talk." Because that wasn't okay. And we go outside, and she's like, "That wasn't okay for him to pick on you like that. He deserved it." So she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. We got to go to the auditorium. It was super chill. Got away with it. Clean. Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. That was probably one of the coolest moments that she didn't do anything. And obviously now, like, that guy's, he was notorious for getting beat up with, like, a broken arm. You know what I mean? So it was a little different. And, like, I grew up in, like, a predominantly, like, Latino school. Yeah. So, I was, like, the smaller Asian kid and stuff like that. So it was, like, bullying was, like, a regular thing. Gotcha. But it didn't happen that much to me because I always diffused it by befriending all the police. Yeah. But it would happen, like, multiple times later, but not as much as it would if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Mario, what's your masochistic side?
I don't know if I have a masochistic side like that. Yeah, not like that.
What?
Not physical.
Like what then?
Yeah.
One of the reasons I asked about psychedelics is because, like, I recently just had an LSD trip, and it was very intense, and, like, it was, like, pretty much a bad trip. And I've had other kind of bad trips before, but I would say, like, the masochistic side of me is that I do like to go back to these and try again. Not particularly to have a bad trip, but because it challenges, like, my own mentality, my own sense of willpower. Because at a certain point, it's really just, like, you in your head, and you have to conquer this kind of, like, the way I'd put it is this, like, influx of over sensory, like, information. The way sometimes, like, a light is shining in your eye, it's like that, but in your mind, just all this sensory information just bombarding you, and there's a point there where it's like you start to, like, lose your sense of self. You start to, like, kind of, like, your personality kind of goes away, and you have to bring it all back together. You form that sense of identity back to who you were, and you're constantly, like, fighting, but not just if you fight against a trip, it's gonna go bad. You have to learn to flow, and you have to learn to, like, kind of, like, pick your battles with, like, your own willpower. And I go back to these, even though I've had bad experiences, because every time I do it, I come out a better person. At least for me, I come out better. I come out stronger of mind. And, like, don't get me wrong, the experience is traumatic. It's like, it's pretty bad.
It sounds.
I've been in a near-death car accident, and it was not as traumatic as, like, like a bad trip.
Man, I wanted to commit suicide on psychedelics before.
Wow.
Like, sure.
While you're on psychedelics or after?
Yeah, no, while I was on them. It was like that was part of the trip. It was just like I had to face my ego, and my ego was just like, well, if you're not getting what you want, why the fuck are you here? And then you're like, I'm standing on this bridge, and then I'm realizing, like, wow, this is stupid. Like, I want to kill myself right now over this. This is dumb. But, like, full on felt like I was just like, I'm done. I'm out.
Wow.
Physical bridge or metaphorical bridge?
Oh, an actual bridge?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
crazy.
I was like, I was out. I'm ready. But, like,
Yeah.
it just, like,
It's
it's intense, but I think it's cool because you can, like, especially when you see yourself, like, fractalize, right? And you're like, you're pulling yourself back together. You can now be like, all right, who do I want to rebuild myself to be?
That's exactly it.
And
That's exactly it.
That's
and
gnarly.
I think that's the magic of, like, all right, when you do experience that full, like, disillusion, just like, yeah, and then you're like, all right, well, there's a lot of parts of me that don't need to be there anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I
Wow.
don't need them. And you kind of, like, you realize you have a lot more say in the matter.
You come back and you feel fragmented. You don't feel yourself, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because
Yeah.
there's parts that are missing of you. You fill them in with new things. You fill in things that you actually want.
You, like, deprogram yourself. Because, like, instead of just being told, and we were talking about that on the drive here, it's like, being told who you are and where you need to go and what you need to be. And then all of a sudden now you're like, well, actually, I don't have to listen to my parents. I don't have to even listen to my friends.
Yeah.
And I can complete autonomy in this existence to, like, be who I want to be. Wow. This is fun.
Yeah. there's a sense where you have to get to that point, And I think a lot of, like, we talked about, like, is, like, meditation, conquering these, like, kind of addictions gets you to that point where you can decide, like, hey, I want to be this. Like, this is, I can choose who I want to be. I don't have to listen to society or anybody else. And, like, I can be me. At my own pace, my own direction, however I want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys feel like you guys have a pretty positive relationship with, like, psychedelics or drugs in general then? Because
I do.
Yeah, like, because that sounds like, you call that masochistic, where you kind of, like, push yourself to that edge where it's, like, mildly traumatic. Like, I feel like some people, don't come back from that. Like they come back completely, like totally different, and in a way maybe that is good to them that I cannot understand. You know what I mean? I have no idea, but maybe because I haven't gone through that experience, I don't understand it. But sometimes I'm just like there are no remnants left of the person they were before, and like how you said, you want to give away all the pieces that are not good, that are negative to you, but for that like specific person I'm talking about, like they were a really great person, and for me I was like, wow, they don't even have that left. They're like barely inaudible. You know what I mean? So that's like crazy, the different outcomes, I guess.
Is this someone that like went on a trip and like they didn't come back?
Yeah, they didn't come back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like you're dealing with a very potent substance, and like I think it's important to understand where you're at mentally and spiritually. Like I think it's a spiritual and energetic experience as well. So it's like, I mean, I'm no scientist. I can't tell you why they didn't come back, but it's from my experience, it's like I've had some mushroom trips where I didn't feel back to my full self for probably half a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, where it was definitely, I was walking around and it was like, all right, there's like 2-3 months where I'm probably like, walking around outside of my body a little bit. Like I'm going through all the motions. I'm cooking food. I'm talking to friends. I'm going to work. I'm doing this or what. But I'm like probably observing myself from a third person perspective the whole time.
Oh.
And that can be a little like, all right, this is weird. And you're like, okay, I mean, if this is forever, this is my new forever now. Okay, but like, all right, I'm going to accept that. Yeah. And then, but, so I guess what I'm trying to get at is like how grounded you are, like how rooted are you in yourself and your own reality becomes probably quickly apparent when you do psychedelics. And then like totally losing yourself and not coming back is like, in some ways, I want to say it's a little bit of a choice, but also like, maybe not, like it's the dangers. That's why like meditation is great because it's a lot slower of a process. You're not.
It's not 0 to 100 an hour,
like taking LSD or hefty like mushroom dose is you're going from 0 to 100. Yeah, like so you gotta be ready for that. Yeah. And like some people don't need that. Some people it's not good for. Some people find it fun.
Yeah. Okay, speaking about people who find it fun, obviously like we seem to have like a decent connection with psychedelics or drugs in general. Do you feel like that's like a difficult thing to find in like other people, like mates? So like for instance, if you're dating someone like someone you're attracted to and you want to be in a relationship with, is the fact that maybe they don't understand your connection with psychedelics or drugs gonna cause the issue? Just like how maybe someone doesn't understand your connection with your porn addiction prior might have caused like conflicts in your own relationship.
It's funny because we were also talking about something similar. And I really think that it comes down to like it's more about who the other person is.
Yeah.
Like is this other person like, let's say I'm hanging out with someone and they don't do psychedelics at all, right? But they come at it in an attitude like that they think they know what psychedelics are because they've heard something and they have this preconceived opinion. They've never done it, they've never experienced it, but they have like what their parents or their friends told them, and now they're going to project that opinion onto me and onto the relationship. It's not going to work out.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to even have a conversation because they're not going to listen to my perspective or understand where I'm coming from. And I'm the one with the experience of these things.
Yeah.
So I would say typically in my relationships and friendships, I'm friends with people who don't do psychedelics, but the more deeper, closer, more intimate, like I can just philosophize and I can discuss like my concepts of existence and the universe and consciousness and work on art projects together. We're all gonna be doing psychedelics. Like we've done them together. We've done an art project on them together, or we're, or like separate occasions, and it all kind of like leads to like part of the friendship, which is like, okay, we have an understanding of the universe that can only, like, my brother and I actually had this conversation because for a while I was like, meditation is the only way, like drugs are secondary to meditation. And then he actually really changed my perspective on that and saying, like, we had this really long talk. It's like, okay, there are perspectives that you can only achieve with certain drugs.
Oh.
Like
that
that like the experience of the mushroom is only accessible through the experience of the mushroom. Like, whatever meditation, it might be synonymous, the outcome might be the same, but the experience is like, you have to eat the mushroom. The feelings that you're going to have before you eat the mushroom, that can only exist when you have that experience with that essentially being, right? And so it's like, naturally, given that kind of stuff, like, you're going to bond and you're going to form relationships and friendships with people that have those similar connections, those similar understandings, and those, and want to explore those things. It's like a lot of the art that I'm making, like expanding consciousness through this game Siku, like that's founded upon like my mushroom experiences.
I was about to ask you that. I looked at the artwork and I was like, I kind of see it.
And like my meditation, and it's just like, it's one of those things that's you like about if you want to push your consciousness, what things are pushing your consciousness. Like, have you guys seen that? There's this like the mushroom documentary that came out like.
I saw it, but I didn't watch it.
No.
Change Your Mind.
Maybe it was Change Your Mind. I think it was one where it was like the Paul's statements is a lot in it. The
How to Change Your
Paul
Mind.
guy. Yeah, it was like talking about how like the monkeys ate them and they evolved and blah blah blah, and that's how like we became as human beings. It's like because monkeys ate some mushrooms and then they evolved because it like was
that would be kind of true, to be
consciousness
honest.
upgrade type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one of those things that if you want to evolve human consciousness, what tools are available to us?
Yeah.
There's like, you can study books like, Carl Jung and his philosophy. We can study the Tarot. We can study all these tools to know ourselves. And then, all right, let's jump. Let's go to the next place. And, yeah, there's risks. But there's also, like, that's why I want to make a game that's, like, you're going to be in a game environment. And you're going to be able to heal. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fantastic. And it's not going to be like, okay, you can get those elements of... Because the thing is, it's like the mushroom trip is one thing. The experience is one thing.
Yeah.
But what really matters, at least in my experience, is like the intention beforehand. Like if you set out and you're going to do psychedelics and you want like, all right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to have a profound spiritual experience. You're probably going to have a profound spiritual experience. If you take it and you're going to be like, I'm just going to be at a music festival and have a bomb-ass time with my friends and I'm going to laugh a lot. You're probably just going to have a bomb-ass time and laugh a lot. So it really comes down to like your intention beforehand. Then you have the experience itself, which is influenced by the intention, and then it also is its own little thing.
Yeah.
But then the most important thing is the after. Because if you learn a bunch of profound shit during your trip and you do nothing with that, or you're just like, okay, I'm good, I learned everything because I experienced it.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, you're going to go back in your little cycle and you're going to learn again, and it's going to keep coming up, and you're still going to be angry at your, like, dad for whatever reason until you actually deal with it. The mushroom just uncovered that you hated yourself, you hated your father, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that, like, yeah, I mean, long story short, yeah, hang out with people that do mushrooms.
Nice.
I agree with the whole after part. You have to put in your own work, like either write down your experience or reflect on it. Like that's what I've done, and it really does help. Because the times I haven't done it, I'm like I don't remember as accurately. But the times I have actually like taken steps to like, okay, let me remember what happened, why I thought it was important, and it tends to be a lot of internal stuff, like you fight your own demons and shit, and you remember, and you're like, oh, okay, now I know. You don't always like. It's not like, oh, I did this, and like all of a sudden I don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
No. It's like when you do it, like you're more conscious of it. You're like, oh, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this, And you take it step by step. But I mean, that's what it's been like that for me.
Yeah.
But the thing about the monkeys that they ate the shrooms.
Yeah.
So do you advise giving my dog some like mushrooms?
Dude, I want to see what kind of dogs you breed in like 10 years with your shroom
Have
pups.
an evolution of the man dog, dude.
Yeah,
Where dogs own you.
he's gonna pull up with a book and a monocle and start schooling you in a couple weeks.
Mario has the leash on him.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
You know how he asked you like, being having people like in your life with like shrooms and stuff, or like, do you have to date someone that does like psychedelics? Can you date someone who doesn't like your art?
Can I date someone that doesn't like my art? I can't even date someone that doesn't make art.
Oh, damn.
Like, I mean, like, just on being real, like, personally, I don't really date at all. Like, I just, like, have friends, and the relationship is what it is. Like, that's it. Like, there's no need. I don't really believe in putting labels on relationships specifically and people, because then if you say someone's your girlfriend, then everything that a girlfriend is now like a label, and that's a box, and that's like defines how you behave, how you think, how other people look at the relationship, what they think, how they behave around you guys.
Yeah.
I want to like not experience the world in that way. I want to experience the world in like a fluid and free way where it's like I can have a relationship with you. If him and I hook up later, like, you know,
I ain't judging.
hey,
Grab his
you know,
hand too, Peter.
or if Peter joins. Adrian's pretty quiet over there, so I don't know what he's trying to get
Benny
at.
is
You know, like, I mean, he's been voyeuring this whole time, you know. So
we have some friends coming and they're about to walk into some shit.
You didn't open the shrooms in the beer.
I mean, you're not just the first guest that's been on here that's basically explained it like that, but you're one of the first people that I personally have met that I've heard that explanation for. Like, I've always thought about that, like, non-title type of thing, you know, like, my last ex, like, I didn't put a title on it till, like, I think, like, 4 months, 6 months, and then we ended up breaking up. We were kind of staying together with no title for, like, 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird. It was kind of like a weird spot because, you know, who decides what the title is, right? It kind of gets kind of blurred. Like, I had some friends who told me, like, oh, you guys are together, you know? And I was like, well, we never talked about it, you know? So if we don't agree on it, and then who agrees on it?
yeah,
Oh, well, you guys have, like, attributes of, like, a couple, you know? And I'm like, wow, that is really hard to say because there are certain attributes are of friends.
yeah.
So, like, what is it? Friends, not friends, couple, not couple.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you say that, I'm like, whoa, that's pretty crazy that you're like, oh, yeah, I have friends. Like, you know, it's just how our relationship works. And I don't know too many people who could do that, to be honest. I'm just being honest. You know,
I just want to have like deep, loving relationships with everyone. And I think growing up Christian, one of the things that I really saw is that it was like we're gonna reserve a special kind of love for one person, and that's not just sexual. It's like I'm really
It's
only
everything.
gonna care about my wife in this way. Well, I want to care about the bum on the street in that way. I want to care about you in that way. I want to have a deep, intimate connection with you, with everyone like that I encounter. Right? Like I don't want there to be any bar, any wall of like, oh, because you're not this person in my life, because I've only known you for 5 minutes, because X, Y, or Z thing, now I'm going to throw up all of these walls and all of these labels, and now I'm, like, not actually going to be able to understand that, like, at the end of the day, I am you, you are me. Like, we're all connected, we're all part of this existence, we're all, like, living, breathing human beings. Like, I don't want to start to, like, throw up arbitrary walls for no reason. Like,
This is what happens when you do drugs.
welcome.
Well, you do.
Welcome,
You
guys.
get to it's because you get to see, like, you think about this a lot, and you see, like, the kind of like the societal labels on things where it's like, you know, like boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, like all this stuff, you know, and you get to choose how you live your life now.
Yeah.
You know, you get to choose, like, this is your choice, you know?
Yeah.
You decide to, like, I want to live my life like this. Like, I want to care about, make these deep, like, connections with anyone I want to, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to be constrained by, like, a label that says, like, oh, I can only love this person, or, like, I can't do this with this person, whatever, you know? And it's, like, it's something and I think it's also, like, you're an artist, too. You have this, like, sense of, like, freedom. Like, you want to flow freely, creatively, too, you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
It's insane. Wow, I need to do more shrooms. Holy shit.
Wait, so Peter, have you done shrooms?
Yeah, I have a lot.
A lot. Okay.
I've just,
But the thing
my
is,
experience is
he does it
completely
in party
different.
settings, though. Like,
Yeah,
party
I
and
think
drinking
No, I've done it
settings.
on regular settings. I've done it like Joshua Tree. I've done it at the
Okay,
parks and
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, it's just my experience has always been extremely visual.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, extremely visual, which is funny because I'm not very like my imagination sucks. Like I can't see.
Whoa,
anything
but
visually.
when you're on shrooms, you like see.
Yeah, I see like crazy visuals where I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, that's
You're a
it.
photographer. How does your imagination suck?
Well, that's the thing. I see what's in front of me. I don't like imagine it first, you know. So I'm not one of those photographers who like I see the image and therefore I create it, you know.
So you're very present.
Yeah, I'm very
Actually,
present. Mhm, yeah. No,
To
that's why I
be a
do street photography.
Yeah,
You know, I
in
have
the
to.
moment,
Yeah.
you have to be super like.
Yeah,
there. You can't be
completely
elsewhere.
different. Yeah, I'm not
Can't be in the
creating.
imagination,
No, I
really.
can't. I can't. I'm not creating these moments. They're unfolding in front of me, and that's what I do as
Ooh, I
a
like
street
that.
photographer.
The craziest one to me is people don't have a voice in their head.
I don't have a
have a
voice in
friend
my
who
head.
doesn't have a voice in their head, and I'm just like,
You have a voice in your head?
yeah.
Oh no, I have no
I can
voice
just
in my
I
head.
can just think and like I can hear my voice, like, you know.
But can you turn that on and off?
Yeah, well, that's part of becoming present. Where it was like before, it was like tied to like this kind of like analytical side of me, where like I'm having these like situations like whatever, but I'm like in my head and I'm like thinking. It's not always negative, but it's just like analyzing the world around me, and I had to learn to take a step back from that and just kind of like be in this present moment where I'm like I'm not hearing that voice in my head. I'm just like enjoying the moment with everyone.
Am I the only one who does it?
Do you not?
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
That's because he's Buddhist, dude. He grew up. He already had stacked stats when he was born. Like all this mental shit that we gotta work. He's just like,
Oh man.
He was reincarnated already.
yeah, clearly, Peter. You're like, you don't even get hangry, bro. Like, come on.
I mean,
He doesn't get
do you
hangovers either.
Wait, what?
Doesn't get hangovers.
I used to.
Are you
I used to a
human?
lot.
You're an alien.
No,
He
no.
sent his
Is
way
it
out
what-
of it.
yeah.
I'm Benjamin Button actually,
Yeah.
but I used to get hangovers. It just kind of went away as I got older, which is
Weird.
weirdly what the opposite should
It's
be
like
happening.
completely the opposite of
Yeah.
That's why
everything.
we can just pound an IPA. He's like, we got more beer.
Yeah, I don't think I would drink if I still got hungovers, because like I would just be like so like I wouldn't be functioning, and I can't do that. I need to be doing stuff every day. So.
You're just like always drunk now.
No, not always.
Most of the time. He's on the sidewalk at least once a week.
I mean, I just sleep anywhere. That's totally different.
Yeah.
That's another monk
That's
feature.
another. Yeah. That's another feature.
He's so zen that he just will fall asleep on a sidewalk.
It's kind of common, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like notorious for being able to sleep like anywhere.
Wait,
Like
what's
peop-
the weirdest place? Or not weirdest? I guess. What are some fun
Weirdest?
places you've slept?
fun places.
Yeah, dude.
Shit,
The
dude.
sidewalk's kind of fun.
Sidewalk is kind of normal. I feel like. I think the most fun was when I woke up in front of this taqueria. Like my feet were like out of the window of my car. My shoes are gone, and I was like, "Damn, I wonder what happened last night." Fuck it, let's go get some tacos. And it just made my day instantly fucking better to start off like that. It was nice. Yeah, it was chill. It
Did
was
someone
chill.
steal your shoes?
I have no idea. I still don't know. I
Is
yeah.
that really like? Did you fall asleep with them on out the window and someone was just like, "Look at this guy"?
Can you imagine?
Were you in
Like
LA
this-
or Santa Ana?
No, I was here in
Okay.
Tapatio number 2.
They
Yeah.
sold them.
Yeah, local. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes I don't know, and I think I'm trying to not do that as often, if at all, if possible. But
Okay.
sometimes it's just like it's kind of hard to.
It's just
tell.
nap time.
Yeah, it's just nap time. Like, and that's
Peter's just a free
Like,
unfortunate.
should we be
Serious.
worried? Do we need to wrap this up quick?
No. See, I'm just lucky because like prior, the way I would act was way worse because before I used to be active and unconscious at the same time. Right, so I'll be doing shit that I don't remember, like blacking out, and
Oh, whoa.
yeah, it was bad. You know what I mean? Like I would wake up and I would be like in jail, like shit would happen like that, And
Is that an anecdotal?
no, it's not. I wish it was.
No.
I wish it was. Yeah, it's happened. And then I'll,
That's a talking point for later.
oh yeah, and like these guys have already known. Like I'll wake up and I'll be in the hospital. It's like whoa, what the hell?
Jeez.
But yeah, I've gone to a point where now like where I'm so drunk I just pass out. I just get so tired that I just fall asleep anywhere, and I think I prefer that. I prefer not waking up in jail or in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Hey,
lot
I
nicer.
think there's no hospital this year, right? So far.
So far,
So
I
far.
am we have this thing where it's like every year I go to the hospital at least once. It's been the past 4 years that's been true, and this 8 months in now, right?
Yeah, 8 months.
Got
4th of
4
July.
more months to go.
Fourth of July, right?
Nice,
Is that
Since no, it was last year. I was in the hospital in SD. I fell off that bird. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Matt when Adrian ditched us. So yeah, hopefully this year nothing happens. And it's funny because like during the same time, I have 2 anniversaries. One will be my 1 year of celibacy, and the second would be 1 year of not being in the hospital. So I'm killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank you guys. We're not there yet, but the finishing line
getting
looks close.
there.
Peter, he decided to jump off a roof.
Oh my God, that's a whole nother thing.
That was 4th of July, right?
That was 4th of July. Yeah. I broke my leg doing that. Yeah. I woke up and I was like, oh shit, my leg's broken.
You haven't gotten rid of the masochistic side.
You know what? Weirdly enough, yeah, I think in a certain way, yeah, I still haven't. It's kind of still something I feel like I'm still dealing with. And this is gonna sound pretty terrible, but
Go on.
fuck. I feel, I'm masochistic isn't like I hurt myself.
Yeah.
But I also think I'm masochistic because I decide to stay with toxic women.
So is this what brought the celibacy?
Yeah. That's it. That was the first time. What the fuck are you laughing about, bro?
She She watches the show.
I'm not saying that like I'm not saying that it's just them. Obviously, I have my toxic side too, right? And I think like toxic people attract toxic people. And I think like if she watches the show, she isn't like, not just her and the other women too. That if I say that, I'm being fucking honest.
Yeah.
Like we all need to heal. It's not just me. I got my own fucking issues, but if you think you're fucking perfect, then you got a bigger issue. So to me, like whoever watches, like I'm just saying, like let's not ignore like the problems that we have, because just like how you said, like just because it's not there doesn't mean like you cannot address it and it'll just go away.
Yeah,
it doesn't fix itself. You have to address it.
You have to put in the work. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
dude.
a conscious, like every day, like you're just saying, like you become more able to catch yourself in those moments, right? You're
100%.
like, before it was just like your baseline operation, and now you're like, oh, I can choose, reel myself back.
Yeah.
So
100%.
are you choosing, was the choice to go a year of celibacy to not put yourself in toxic relationships? Or like, what? Where
No,
is
no,
that?
not
Is that your masochistic side just rearing its head?
Is it masochistic to be celibate? What the hell?
Oh, that's a solid point.
Like,
That's actually my
I won't-
Buddhist side.
yeah.
Instead of torturing yourself this way, I'm gonna torture myself this way.
All right, you guys definitely do way too much shrooms. Oh man, I don't know, to be honest. I think, well, I've done this before, right? I mean, I tried to do it, it didn't work. But anyways, I think I'm just not ready to go date, and that's why I'm like celibate, or I'm not ready to do any of that kind of stuff. I feel like I don't have time to contribute to relationships of any sort.
Gotcha.
So that's why I do it, and I think it's because I'm not happy with where I'm at. I am happy with myself. Just I want more.
So you want to take the time to work on yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess what was the like going celibate, like especially if it's not like a yogic practice or some sort of other reason. That's like seems kind of in some ways extreme, right? You're like you're purposely putting up that wall now, right?
Yeah.
But like what made that feel like the right thing to do for you?
I think it was because ever since I was younger, I've talked about this a couple times, but I don't like the feeling of like feeling like women control me. Like I've seen some thirsty motherfuckers who cannot control themselves. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they just have to do it. No matter who, when. It's just like holy shit. Like, can't you just like kind of hold back a little bit?
Yeah.
And I think when I do this and when I hold back, it feels like I'm taking control. You know what I mean? Of
Building
my own.
discipline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
building discipline. Like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. Like, if you want to do that or not. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm okay with it now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm deciding like what happens and what doesn't.
Gotcha.
Basically, to my own terms.
Your
for the most
penis,
part.
your choice.
Yeah, my penis, my choice. And I think I like that because like I feel like I've seen it so much where people just kind of lose themselves to the only thing they have on their mind is sex.
Yep.
You know what I
Definitely.
mean? Like I don't, and I've talked about this too. It's like I wouldn't say I have like a sex addiction because I think being able to do this for this long shows that I don't, but like I told these guys, I mirror my partner a lot. So if I have a partner that's like very active, then I'll be extremely active. You know what I mean? But then when I don't have a partner, I don't have to like, it's not in my head at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So would you be okay dating a partner who also wants to be celibate?
You know what? So I was okay with that first. So like my second ex, she was extremely religious. She was like, oh, I'm not going to give up before marriage, And me, I'm like, I'm not going to get married. So I guess it's never happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was in it and I was like, I like her a lot. Like if we don't have sex, it's fine. That's what I thought.
I mean, now though.
But was it fine?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fine.
it was
It was fine. Again, because like she didn't really exude that like sexuality, like where she's
Gotcha.
like, oh yeah, let's have sex, or it never really got like that far. I mean, eventually it did when we finally talked about it, and she was like, okay, maybe I'm not so stern on that stance. Yeah,
What
but that
about
was
now?
when we were younger. No,
That's when you were young.
yeah. Now, no, I can't do it now. I'm willing to wait,
Yeah.
but I'm not willing to be celibate till marriage because
No,
don't.
I just mean, would you be comfortable dating somebody right now where you are in
Okay.
your current life,
Yeah.
with someone who accepts your celibacy and wants to be celibate with you?
Oh,
but still
for like
wants to
the
be a
next
partner?
like 4 months.
Yeah. something that we talked about earlier is like, obviously you don't want these labels. Like you don't want someone who's a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. But do you consider somebody a partner? Is that what you envision? Do you have a certain kind of label that you use for someone that you are interested in romantically?
I mean, I guess I would just, like, they're just friends.
Yeah.
Like, I can be romantically interested in my friends.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, like, not a thing. I think that that's, like, at least for me, that I just normalize that in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I can be sexually attracted to my friends. I can be platonically attracted to my friends. We can sleep together one time. We can hook up regularly. We can not need to ever do that. I can, like, date someone. I guess that's saying if you're dating someone, right, and you're celibate together, by the world standards, then you're just friends to a certain degree, right? Like maybe or if you're living together. Like, I've lived with friends.
Yeah.
Not necessarily romantically. I've lived together with people romantically, so it's kind of like, all right, you did, like, if we just remove any of those labels, any of those, like, you just have, you're a human being, they're a human being. You two are defining what that relationship is. Nothing else actually matters. Your parents, everyone else's opinions, that doesn't, it only defines it if there's someone that's influenced by those opinions. And it's like, I don't want a relationship that's necessarily influenced. Like, I'm just going to be friends with you, be friends with you, friends with everyone, see where it goes.
And that makes sense, because I see that you want to make these, like, deep connections. But what happens when you put love into it? Like, if you fall in love with someone who's your friend, does something else happen? Do you guys create your own label?
We just have that be the relationship that it is.
Is there any like goals towards the future? Is there any like future outcome? Like, is there marriage in your future? Is there something along that?
I guess I don't believe in. I'm not gonna get married. I don't really like believe in.
Oh no, he's the same way.
Yeah, I don't. There's no need for it. I think maybe there's people in my life that I see, and I'm like, you're gonna be in my life probably for, like, the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you are, but that could be any friend that could be in it for the long haul, and it could be like, I have like maybe I lived with someone for 12 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
And then it makes sense to not live with them anymore. Okay. And then we each go live with people that make sense for that chapter of our lives. So I think rather than trying to, like, force someone else to be where they're at, you just meet them where they're at, you're where you're at, and if it makes sense to be life partners or whatever. I mean, maybe you can put a term like a life partner
that's
or something like that. But, like, typically that's like an unspoken thing too for me. It's just like, you kind of know. You're like, it's been X amount of years and you're still in my life.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be around for another X amount of years in my life. Or, we talk once a year, but you've been in my life for the past 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Cool. You're probably going to be in it for the long haul in whatever way, shape, or form that is. And if I want to develop a deeper relationship or, want to change things, you just take the steps to make it happen. It doesn't need to be, like, anything dramatic.
So do you see yourself having, like, maybe, like, one life partner, or for you is it, like, multi, like, or it doesn't matter?
I think it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, could be one, could be many.
I need to move to LA.
Yeah, you guys are on no level compared to me right now. I mean, I love the conversation. It brings a lot of, like, foresight to me, because, like, now I'm looking at some of the stuff that you guys are saying, and I'm starting to see some of it in my life. Not shit that I'm, like, doing personally, but, like, I've seen it, like, in my friends. For instance, I had this experience where we're out with a couple of friends. One of my friends, Carolyn, she, sometimes when we walk a lot, she likes to hold one of the guys' hands or arms to just kind of keep them walking, right?
Yeah.
That's just how she is. And one of my friends who joined us that day, she is not part of the regular group. So we know that that's how Carolyn's relationship is with a lot of the guys. It's, like, very normal. Like, it's like a friend thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And one of
Just
the girls...
friendly human physical touch.
Yeah, exactly, And then one of my other friends, she was like, oh, are they, like, dating? And I was like, oh, no, they're just friends. And she was like, friends don't hold hands.
Yes, they do.
I know.
I was
and
like,
that's exactly
those
the thing,
are
right?
some
Like,
sad friends if you're not holding hands.
yeah, you know what I mean? We just held hands earlier, So,
Yeah.
but, like, it's hard to say, because, like, then sometimes that, I hope it doesn't influence us, but sometimes it does. You know what I mean? Like, the way, like, these titles kind of, like, tell us what we should and should not do. And, like, dude, I know some people, it's, like, kind of like, if I, especially in relationships, it happens more often where it's like, oh, why did you say hi to her this way? Like, it's flirtatious.
Why'd you like her photo?
Why did you like her photo?
Why'd you send her a little black heart?
Yeah, why did you save it to the archive? Okay, maybe that I don't know. But not saying I've ever done that, by the way. But yeah, like
That was good.
But you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of pressure on like a certain kind of like boundary that these titles have that a lot of people don't even discuss.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right? Like I feel like it's almost like unspoken, like, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't. This is cheating or this isn't.
Yeah. And
it's kind of like, wow, shouldn't you guys talk about that? Because it is a relationship between, or at least, if you guys are talking between two people, and there's more people, then obviously more, but
conversations we had.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little more complicated when there's
a little bit
more than two.
Yeah, like I had a friend. Funny enough, I had a friend. He is what do you call it when he
Polyamorous?
is? No, he's he affiliates as both male and female.
So just fluid.
Fluid.
Yeah,
Yes, he's fluid, right? And so, shout out to homie Blue, by the way. So he started dating this girl who he met through one of the events that I throw. I was like, it's cool. They have like a very understanding relationship, very open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came to one of the events with like another girl, and then he was like, oh, I want to introduce you to my girlfriend. And I was like, whoa, that's not the other girl. And I was like, oh, I walked with him to the side, and I was like, yo, Blue, what happened to the other girl? He's like, oh, you mean my other girlfriend? And I was like, oh, damn. This guy here is juggling at least two women, and I can't do even one. It's crazy because don't get me wrong. Like, I think that's awesome that you think like that, where it's like multiple relationships, as many as, is beneficial or positive to you.
Yeah.
That's nice. But I can't imagine like splitting myself up that often because, like, damn, I have a hard time just, trying to regulate just myself sometimes.
Yeah.
And do you feel like that might be, I mean, obviously there's a certain extent to it, right? It's like you're not going to split yourself up amongst like 100 people.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like, you're literally.
I mean, maybe, no.
Maybe, yeah. With technology nowadays, you never know.
Yeah.
But
Maybe a cult leader and you don't know it.
oh, true. That is a little different.
No, I think we're different.
Entering different
ballgame.
territory.
What?
We know where his head's at. He's over here like,
he's like, fuck, dude, I know what I'm doing.
You were gonna ask him if he could like maybe juggle the same way how Blue is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so going back to that. Like he's not just dating these girls. He's having like a full-on relationship,
Yeah.
And like, unlike his relationship with these girls, yours is like, you're like, I don't want to label them anything. They're my friend, right? That's kind of like the label they have. He actually has like a label for both of them. Mm-hmm. They're both my girlfriends, right? Do you feel like because, well, you can't speak for him, right? But assuming that the reason why he's labeling them is because he has like certain boundaries and guidelines put in place. Yeah. Do you feel like having that label kind of makes it more difficult to balance out?
It's like I guess I could not answer that question because I don't put those labels on.
Oh, have you when before you were dating, before you decided to kind of be this more fluid?
Yeah, I was pretty monogamous.
Okay.
Right, and so then I was like, oh, this person is my girlfriend or this person is my boyfriend, right? Like, but. So I guess what your question is like, all right, if we're
adding the label would make it more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was back in a whole different version of myself where I thought about the world in a completely different way, and I was like, I'm gonna go to college and get a normal job so I can pay for my wife. Mm-hmm. Like,
retire at like
60, that was like before the art. Before I committed myself to art and realized that was like actually what was gonna make me happy in life.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So I think now with that version of myself, like, was living in boxes.
Yep.
Every person that I met, I put in a box.
Yeah.
Like hands down, it was like, you're this person, you believe in these things, you do this thing, this is your job, you're this type of person, you have this many tattoos, you're probably this kind of person. It was just like label centric heavy, and maybe that's part of the reason that like I'm so anti-label now is because I grew up and had like a was at one point so ingrained in the idea of labels being somewhat everything. Like, oh, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Like, you know what that means? That's me labeling myself as this thing.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, all right, well, if we just forego all of that, and
I mean, it's
I can have, if I had 2 girlfriends, all right, like, I have 2 relationships that are deep and intimate with 2 different people,
Yeah.
and they're, like, I guess I'm trying, like, I don't really live by any boundaries with anyone, so it's just like, all right, if that's what it's feeling in the moment, or that's what I'm wanting to do, just kind of, like, go with it. And I think that for me, it's like I always was accused of having, like, that flirty personality where I would save the photo to the archives. But it was like, it wasn't even like, it was just fun. It was never anything like, I never would mean it maliciously, never would be anything even like, it was just like, in the moment I'm having fun with someone and we're like, we have the banter going, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But I have 3 years of every single day I've been committed to you, so in this 30-second moment you're gonna come at me for these actions? Look at, you have 3 years of every single day I've been the one, like, in there.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, well, no one's gonna get mad at me for flirting with everyone because I flirt with everyone. So it's like, all right, that,
I feel that.
like,
So
and now I don't
interesting.
have to change my personality. I don't have to
Yeah.
change who, like, and I genuinely, like, when you, like, have those, I guess, flirty interactions, or you're just vibing, you're just feeling the energy, the chemistry between someone,
Yeah.
you're going off of it, and it's just natural human way to flow. You're just being, like, your true authentic self. I want to be my true authentic self in every single moment. Like, the only one that limits that is myself, really, right?
Okay.
And I don't want to have someone else telling me how I can or cannot be tuning into my own being. Like, if it's a choice that I don't want to flirt because I know they're there and I know that they've seen me flirt and it gets like they're affected by it, but I would much rather be in friendships and relationships with people where, like, oh, I see you flirting with that person over there, but we have a deep connection and I'm gonna go flirt over there and we're just gonna have fun. And we don't always need to be, like, codependent on each other in
Yeah.
this, like, boyfriend-girlfriend relationship where, like, I can only have that kind of fun with you, and you can only have that kind of fun with me. Because there's, like, 8 billion people on this planet, I think, this year. We're going to hit 8 billion. That's 8 billion beautiful souls to me. 8 billion beautiful people to, like,
Wow.
talk to and to flirt with.
And to save to the archives.
Yeah, and to save to the archives.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Like, obviously you have special people in your life. Like, I have people that I love deeply, like, very deeply, and, like, no matter what happens, like, if our relationship moves away from one another or whatever, like, I'll always, like, love, there's people I don't talk to. If they came back to LA right now, I'd probably walk out of this podcast right now to go say hi to them.
Yeah.
No, you know, but you know what I'm
But you
saying?
love
Like,
us too.
you drop you drop everything, for certain people, and it's like, I try not to tear my love, but this is reality, and you can only have so much time and energy to give people, and
Yeah.
when you do start dabbling in, like, multiple relationships, the time and energy thing does come into play.
Yeah,
You
of
got to
course.
start understanding when, like,
Have you met anyone who's more free than you? Maybe too free?
more free than
Where
me?
you're just like, whoa. Like how I'm like right now with you, I'm like, whoa. Have you met someone you're like,
Yeah,
whoa.
I think that I met people in my life that I saw that were more free than I was at that time, and then
Oh, at the
I was
time.
like, oh, I want to be as free as you are. Like when I graduated college, I was shooting a documentary in Scotland, and there I met this guy Joel, and he was a gay guy, and he invited me to, like, we met up in LA to, like, shoot some interviews, and we ended up having dinner, and he invited me to, like, hey, I have a room in my house if you want to, like, move out of where you're staying, and I'm working on this art company, blah, blah, blah. We started talking, and I move in with him. Well, that was, like, first of all, he's gay, and that was way more free than me, who thought gays were going to hell. Right?
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, I was a Christian. I was like, gays are going to hell. And now, like, there's this guy who's moving about in the world like it's no big deal. And then he also had a partner, and his partner was in Poland for, like, the last 2 years. But they were together. But, like, Manny could do whatever he wanted, and Joel was free to do whatever he wanted. But they, like, loved each other, and they called each other, like, daily. And so it was one of those things where I was like, wow, like, this is so different from my reality that I grew up in. Like, white picket fence, like, you know, church on Sundays. And now here's this, like, I'm building this 3,500 square foot warehouse in downtown LA, like, living the art life. And this guy's, like, I'm in the queer community all of a sudden. And people have all sorts of relationships that are just so, like, so undefined. I was like, wow, this is cool. But it was super scary. Like, it made me feel really uncomfortable, like, inside. But at the same time, I was like, these people are living a life where they're not tied down. They're like, if you say something to them, they look at you and laugh because they're like, wow, you're just, like, all tied up in your little safety box. And I was like, wow, yeah, it's kind of true. Oh. Like, I'm trying to control this reality by being like, you're this person, you're that person, this is the relationship. You know, it's all about, like, I'm taking control of other people now. And I was like, well, if I just focus on controlling myself, that's all I can really control. So, yeah, I saw that in him, and then I met another really close friend of mine, and just, like, the way she moved about in the world, I was like, wow, like, you're just able to be yourself in every situation. Maybe you're feeling nervous or whatever, but you don't seem to show it. You just seem, like, free and in tune with the moment. And it was just seeing these people living their true, authentic lives that made me want to tune into that myself. And then realizing that, like, oh, wow, if I can then tune into my true, authentic self, and then just, I don't have to do anything but go about my day being that person, other people are going to see it, and they're going to want to become their true, authentic selves, just like I saw that in other people. And so that, to me, was like, oh, wow, and not only can I guess, heal or grow or expand. But just by doing that, then I can be an example to other people, and they can, like, you know, you can go as far as you want in any direction. And, like, there's people that go way further than me. Yeah. Like, you know, sometimes I feel like a woman, but I don't think I'm ever going to, like, go trans. Yeah. Right? There are people that feel the need to go that far, and that's, like, beautiful and great for them. But, like, you know, I explored that, and I chose to stop at a certain point. Yeah. And people choose to keep going, and it's like we all get to hit these certain, like, places in life, whether it's sexuality, whether it's relationships, whether it's consciousness, whether it's, you know, X, Y, or Z thing in this world, and you the only person choosing to stop and say this is where it ends is you. Mm-hmm. It's like until you die, you can just keep going and exploring any one of those realms as far as you want it to go. Mushroom it till you can't come back, or you can come back. You know? It's like, it's up to you.
Honestly, this conversation made me feel like more authentic myself. You know, like I want to be more of myself.
That's amazing, dude. Wow.
Next time you see me, I'll have 7 girlfriends. I mean, undefined partners.
Undefined partners. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about something like that today when I was driving to pick you up. I was like, oh, damn. Sometimes I care too much about what certain people think. You know, well, I wouldn't say what certain people think about certain things that kind of keep me from doing certain things. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now because, you know, to me, it's not because I don't want to do it. Like, for instance, one of the things that I've done before that I don't really do that often is, like, I've, like, tried to, like, flirt with girls. I'm not very good at it, but I've done it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, you know, sometimes I just want to tell a girl that, hey, you kind of look cute today, you know? But in my head, I'm always like, what if I get rejected, or what if my friends think I look stupid while I'm doing it? And then that kind of always persuades me not to do it, you know? And I think, again, it goes back to, like, it's weird because I actually don't give a fuck about a lot of things and what other people care, but they're the few things I care a lot about.
You should. Have you ever, like, written those things down and then, like, for example, like, gone out and been like, all right, in the course of a week, I'm going to tell 20 girls that they're cute. Like, have to actually believe that they're cute. Yeah. But I'm just going to, like, and it doesn't matter. Like, the point is just to go up to them and say that they're cute. Just to do it and see what happens. Because if it's,
do it
like,
to your friends, too.
It was, like, one of the, yeah, awesome.
Okay, so.
I tell my friends are cute all the time, like, guys and girls. Like,
yeah.
So this goes back to, like
that beanie's pretty cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay,
Your eyebrows look really cute too.
Okay, so sorry, if we want to cut this part off, we can. So it's totally fine. If it
I mean,
goes-
how
goes
cute
on
are
too
those
long.
rings?
Right?
You guys
that's actually his purity ring. No lie.
That's celibacy
That's
ring?
his celibacy
keeps me safe. But no, funny enough, I actually just talked about this recently. So again, if it goes on too long, we just cut it off. But so I was talking to Judy about this. Because we were talking about, because I posted this video where I was feeding one of the cats and my feet was on it. And she was like, wow, you're going to put your feet on Instagram for free? And I was like, oh, I guess I should have charged people for it. But I was like, oh, it's so interesting how people have like a foot fetish.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, I wonder where it comes from, And I always assume a lot of kinks that are like kind of like not super normal, at least not normalized, is that like it comes from some sort of trauma. Maybe not some sort of heavy trauma, but something little, And I'm not saying I'm right. That's not the point of the conversation. But, I was talking about more so like, I was like, oh, I noticed that I have a really hard problem complimenting people, especially people of like the opposite sex, because that's the people that I'm like attracted to. And that's because like when I was younger, I would go around with my mom and adults would be like, oh, he's so cute. And my mom would be like, oh, they're just saying that. Just humble yourself. They say that to all the kids. And I was like, okay, I kind of took that to heart and like, oh, adults just say that because, they're just being nice. So therefore, when like I have people who flirt with me and say stuff like that, like, oh, yeah, you're cute or whatever, I take it as like, oh, they're just being nice.
Oh.
Right? And it goes back to like my childhood. And also at the same time, one of the reasons why I don't compliment people like in that way about like attractiveness is because I feel like I only do that because I am trying to flirt. So it's like intentional versus like, oh, they just do it to compliment you.
Yeah.
Like just to be nice. Yeah. Something I realized about like my childhood that's carried over to like my adulthood.
Can you do both? Can you flirt and compliment someone?
No, I have a hard time. I think I still have a block with that because like I think I could compliment people where it's not like about like looks, because that's kind of like what that was about. I'll be like, oh, dude, you're very like charismatic. You're very intelligent. I have no problem with that at all. But if I were to, and especially to my guy friends, I could be like, oh, dude, stash looks nice on you. You know what I mean? And I could say, oh, long hair looks good on you. No problem at all. But when it comes to women, I have a hard time with that because I'm like, oh, it could be perceived as flirting, and I only want it to be perceived as flirting if I'm intentionally flirting.
So just always intentionally flirt.
Yes,
That's my favorite.
yeah.
Just always be
you
flirting.
seem like you're fucking very good
You
at
can
that. So I give
platonically
you so much
flirt.
props.
Like,
Yeah,
you can platonically flirt
What
too.
the hell is platonically flirting?
It's like flirting for fun.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
like it doesn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're just like you're gonna tap into that energy, that feeling, and you're just like.
Yeah,
So if
we
you
told
think
you
she's
this
cute,
before.
you just they're cute, and then I think what happens is like you get in your head because they're like expecting or you're afraid of certain outcomes.
Yeah.
Right? You're already thinking that. But like in the moment when those words are coming out of your mouth, the outcome hasn't even happened yet. She hasn't reacted.
Yeah.
And then she might banter back.
Mhm.
And then you keep going and you just keep vibing. And the next thing you know, you have 7 girlfriends.
Or you have
or
7 really good friends.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
really
7
good
new
friends.
friends.
Because because you're flirting with someone or platonically flirting with someone, whatever, it doesn't mean it's going to lead to someone. You don't have to have the intention of like getting this person. You can still be your celibate self. It's like just enjoying a conversation, just having a vibe with someone. You know,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
Celibately flirting.
be celibately flirting.
Celibate.
You know.
Like, holy
And
shit.
it's like, and it's your own brand of things too. Like, obviously, be honest, be like of who you are and everything. You know,
Yeah.
you're not lying, you're not deceiving, you're not doing that at all. You know, you're being your most authentic self.
I feel really weird right now. It's making me fucking nervous. When you guys said celibate, like flirting, I was
Yeah,
like,
dude.
what the hell?
Celibately flirting.
This is the 7th time we've talked about.
I
Bye,
feel
dude.
so fucking weird now. My body's getting all warm and shit. Like
He's
that.
having it on
Yeah,
body
the loop.
experience.
It's just you're gonna get stuck in this loop, and you're gonna keep getting coming back. And you're gonna be like,
Okay, we're gonna do this right now. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna do this right now. Tell Fanny she looks cute.
Fuck, this is so hard.
Tell Fanny she looks cute. Tell Fanny she looks cute.
Fuck, dude.
but like actually mean it, and,
actually-
and,
No,
and,
no, no,
and
no.
find something cute. Like you can't just be like,
Tell
oh,
her
you
she
look
looks
cute.
It's getting really heavy around my
Peter.
chest right now. I'm fucking trying. I'm fucking trying, dude. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Can you do that effect? Can you just put a vignette on
Oh
Peter right
my
now? And
God.
Again.
So fucking hard. Okay. I'll try to put it together right now. Try to put it together.
Do you want her to come on? Do it so the camera can see her.
Oh my god. I hate you guys.
Why?
No. Okay, I'm never able to do anyone. So okay.
This is good. This is
Yeah. This is therapy. Yeah. I feel like this is trauma, not therapy. But okay. All right. Fanny, I like your outfit. It looks like you're very dressed for the weather.
I told my grandma she looked really nice today. What she was
told
wearing
who?
too. My grandma, she looked really nice with what she was wearing today. She looks dressed for the weather. I told her that too. That's not flirting.
What the? Damn, you guys trying to tell me I got no game? Oh my god, what the fuck is happening today? It's so fucking hard to have like such a.
Because it's tied. It's also tied to your idea that you feel women can be sexual creatures.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
You're
Remember
right.
the votes? You're the only person who voted for men.
That's fucking crazy. That was fucking nuts. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like you have this like block. You have this idea of women.
Is it pretty apparent that I have a block, like a
Yeah,
mental
it's
block?
very
Now?
bad. Yeah.
Alright.
The first step is
Alright.
admitting it to yourself. You know. Because you can tell you can tell me like, oh, you look attractive, like you could say that in a very platonic way, like you say it to her too, like she's your friend, but you could say like, hey, you look really good today, like I like your like, diamonds on your teeth, you have nice tattoos, anything like that, and you can say it in a way without having that intention and be like, oh, there's more to this, it's like it can be platonic, it can be a vibe, it can just be like, I appreciate the way you look, and I'm letting you know too, because I do it to my friends, guys and girls. I'm like, damn, you look really good today, like, and it's just like, oh.
Well, you also have like 7 friends, so I
all you have to do is tell her she looks cute.
Okay. Fanny, I think you look really cute today. Wow, that was it.
Good job.
What the fuck? Thank you.
Now get her number.
Gay somewhere, baby. Holy shit. God damn.
Hey, I think she wants. No.
See, I knew this was gonna be an issue.
Dude, a couple more compliments and you'll take off on her eyelashes, It's just like...
All right, guys, welcome back to Lightning Round, where we ask our guests rapid fire questions, and they have to answer on time or take a drink.
Yep.
Are you ready, Benelli?
I'm ready.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Do you have a fetish?
No.
Okay. If you were a superhero.
Oh, take a drink. He's like, maybe I answered too quickly.
All right. Your happiest moment.
Summoning mountains.
Summoning mountains?
Summoning mountains, yeah.
Oh,
like
nice.
when you like get to the top of a mountain, like every time, that's like the happiest moment, dude. Just like...
Wow.
Is there a specific one?
Most recently I did Mount Whitney, and I was just like...
Nice, dude.
Dude, it's freaking amazing. So you're kind of lightheaded too because of the altitude. So maybe that adds to the happiness. But yeah, it's truly, it's like just being in nature, man. It's a happy place. Yeah.
Nice.
If you weren't an artist, what would you be?
Dead.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I respect that. A moment that changed your life.
Oh, and that's a drink.
You still have to drink.
Yeah. I still have to answer.
You still have to
Yeah.
answer too.
Moment that changed my life. There's so many moments, man. It's just like
Any moment.
every moment changes my life.
Yeah.
So it's like
One impactful one that
when I discovered soft linens.
Soft
linens.
linens.
Soft linens, like bed sheets that
Yeah.
were soft, like
Like
not
soft-
like cheap college dorm room
Oh, like
linens.
bamboo?
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
oh, yeah.
like
Did you have hard linens
Egyptian
before?
cotton, like high thread count, like like you get naked in there and it's just like, oh,
Oh, wow.
just like that.
No.
Holy shit.
You just like dive in,
Yep. Mine's bamboo threads. Really. It's
Bamboo
really nice.
threads.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
a game changer.
dude.
Yeah.
Wow, must be nice. I still have hard linens.
You sleep on the floor. So
Yeah, I do. That's what I'm
Is
saying.
this the
dude.
Buddhist thing? Is a
don't know,
monk?
dude.
Monk?
I'm like one of those unbothered people, where it's
So
like,
you'd really sleep anyway. I think for a while his bed was just a wood plank. Just
yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like the wind planks that are like this. That go
Oh.
across. Yeah, I was just sleeping on that for like a
He
couple
means
years.
like the base of the bed.
Yeah. Did you wake up and it was just like the slats?
Yeah,
they use that-
exactly.
Like your
You know,
Yeah,
warehouses
and there's
where they put
holes in
that
between
thing?
the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could change one thing about the world and yourself, what would it be?
Oh, and myself. Suffering, man. We don't need to be suffering. That's like outdated ass shit.
Wow.
Like if I don't have to suffer and no one else has to suffer, like we can just decide not to suffer. It's pretty simple. Like we could just decide that and we'll all go out and live our lives in that way, we would live in a kind of a beautiful world if that was like our MO, to like just not cause shit.
Yeah.
What about of yourself?
Yeah, suffering is,
suffering too?
I think,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I think, if we philosophically deep for a sec, it's like, you'd have to end the suffering within yourself before you end it in the world.
This is not part of the lightning round questions, but is Benelli your first or last name?
This is my last name,
Last name, first name?
Benelli.
Okay, Benelli. Okay, cool. Well, my lightning round question was like, if you could choose your own name, what would it be? I'm starting to feel like you might say Benelli.
You know, honestly, I think there will be another evolution of my being that does not go by Benelli,
Yeah.
Oh,
but we haven't reached the stage yet, so I don't know what that name is at this time.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had a perfect number of partners or friends, and that you have this level of relationship with, how many would that be?
Can you define your question with a label?
Ooh.
How many girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever that person identifies as would you want to be in a relationship with if you had a perfect number to choose from?
Perfect number?
Mm-hmm.
There's no perfect number.
Is there a range?
Yeah, is there a range? Is there too many?
I think there's like 69 would be too much for me, Like, all right, like I think that would be. I don't think I could handle that.
It's perfect number 68.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
69 and a half. No.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, I think probably like 5 or less.
Okay.
Depending on
Where you're at in your
somewhere in
life.
there. But I mean, realistic, you're always going to have maybe. At least for myself, I think at this juncture, there's always going to be one person that takes priority over other people,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah. But that could change from day to day.
All right, cool. So you said that you don't want to get married, but do you want to have kids?
No kids, no marriage.
Oh, wow.
So I've committed myself to making art children.
Our children.
Art babies, yeah.
Mm.
So there's just not enough, like, it's just a time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, realistically, I wouldn't have time to do all the things that I want to do and all the experiences that I want to experience, plus build, nourish, and grow all of the projects that I want to do in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't hate kids at all. Like, I've grown up, I've taught kids English in Israel and, worked with kids my whole life. And, like, I love kids. But I don't think that I need to create one myself and spend a bunch of energy raising that one. I can create things and art that can impact millions, and that would be way more impactful in my life.
Before you found this like labelless kind of like phase of your life, when you were in a relationship with your last girlfriend, what was the red flag that set it off where you could no longer be with her or him?
I mean, we had a long 3-year relationship.
Oh,
It was it was pretty serious. Like, there was we went to separate universities, but it was I definitely was in a long-term thought process at the time. And then...
Like marriage stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was dude, I went to a college that was ring by spring. Like, that was the tagline. So, you graduate, you get married type of vibe. Right? And
What college is that?
Pepperdine?
Oh.
Pepperdizzle.
Pepperdizzle.
Pepperdiz. Yikes. But I feel like it was one of those things where, honestly, I think it was art. I think I committed my... Yeah, wow. Oh. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, dude, I committed my... I started to do, my art stuff. And I was I want to make movies. I want to, that's what I'm going to put my time and effort into. And then it just kind of, became a little bit of, a separation type of deal.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just really chasing my dreams at that point, and I think the relationship kind of just fizzled out on both ends. So no, there's nothing, no harm, no shame in either.
Okay.
Either fronts.
Nice. So it was make movies, not babies type of thing.
Yeah, dude, movies over babies for sure.
Yeah. If you didn't have long hair, what kind of hairstyle would you have?
Do you want to see what kind of hairstyle I had before I had the long hair?
No, I want the next version.
The next
of you.
version.
The next version of you.
I've thought about shaving a half, doing the half shave, still have long hair look to kind of find a middle ground.
Yeah.
But I think the long hair is going to stick around for a minute.
All right, guys, this concludes our lightning round. I want to say thank you to our most authentic guest. Amazing. Let us know where we can find you.
And you can follow me at.
And thank you guys for making it this far. Make sure you like, comment below what you guys want us to hear about next. And don't forget,
Live fast, eat ass.